Hey, what's going on, guys? Dan from Fallen Monarch. We were just unloading after our last show and figured we'd take the opportunity to talk about my stuff. So this is my general rig that I use for my live sound. The amp is EVH EL34 5150, the 50-watt version, because I needed something easier to carry for gigs. I was tired of having my 6505 like Ricky has. So yeah, it helped out downsizing. I typically run it on the crunch or the green channel or the blue channel. Sorry. So it's basically getting a lot of my gain from my pedals, which I'll talk about later. But it allows me to kind of go back and forth between kind of like a slightly broken up, overdriven clean sound, and then go into kind of the full tilt gain with just pedal, so I don't need the amp foot switch. So it just cuts down the footprint down there. I really don't switch things up on the amp much. I play around with EQ sometimes, but that's pretty much it. The cab itself is a Black Market Customs 212, and it's got two vintage 30 speakers in it. Because why mess with that? It's good combo, EVH 5150 style amp with V30s. Can't go wrong, really. So that's the amp and cab. So yeah, pedal board. This is the latest. This is something that I have messed around with a lot of buying and selling and trying to get the right setup. I used to have a much bigger board, and similar to the amp, I just wanted to downsize and get something that's easier to carry and just have the essentials and what I need for my live sound. So kind of starting at the beginning of the signal chain, obviously we got first the tuner. I use a Peterson strobe tuner. They are awesome. Pretty much industry standard, aside from the Boss TU tuners. They're sick, really bright display, really easy to see on stage. I love the thing. And it's a mini one, so it saved a lot of space. And then from there, it goes straight into, first in the chain, technically, I plug into the noise gate here. So this is a Revv G8 gate, haha. It just does the job, gives me a good amount of control over like the release of the gate itself. I usually have it all the way at the fastest it can be to just close right away, just to get rid of any noise, obviously. But there are times when it's really useful to be able to turn that down, so I'm glad to have those options. After the gate and the tuner, and the gate is running in 4-cable method into the loop of the amp as well. After that, it goes to my main distortion pedal, which is the Electronic Audio Experiments Longsword. It's basically just it's a Longsword pedal, but it's kind of a Swiss Army knife of distortion and overdrive. You can just kind of boost something a little bit like a Tube Screamer, or this thing can actually get all the way up to an HM2, if any pedal nerds know what that is. It's a sick pedal. I get most of my gain from that, and it serves me very, very well. It's also got a built-in boost to it, so it's just being hit by its own internal boost circuit, which is very cool. This pedal I haven't gotten to use yet, but I'm really hoping for some maybe future material. It's the Earthquaker Hizumitas Fuzz, which is a super sick and dirty fuzz pedal that really retains a lot of really good articulation when you want it. So very nice fuzz pedal there. So that's everything going from the board into the front of the amp. And then from the loop's end, out to the noise gate again to just cut out any preamp noise from the amp as well. I'm sorry. My phaser. This also goes into the front of the amp because I just like pre-gain phase better than loop phase. That's an option. Some people like phaser better in the loop. I do not. I think it just has a lot more presence when it's in front of the amp. So that's something that I kick on for some big chordal sections when I want just a bit of movement in the sound. And then delay and reverb that I have. This is the Keeley Halo delay. I basically have this as an always on with one of the presets as like a really quick slapback. So it's like a kind of really quiet, subtle reverb that's going on all the time to just make things a little bit more full. And then I can switch over to like a big, huge washy delay thing too. So that's another thing that I use in some of our big, sad song endings. And then it's the Walrus Audio Slow reverb, which I absolutely love. It's got a lot of really cool sounds in it. I use it on the Dream setting, which allows you to, it kind of has this shimmery-ish effect going on, and it also allows you to set it as a pad, which I do at the, usually at the end of our set with our usual closing song, Walking Ghost phase. It just lets me make this big, huge, washy noise that just kind of hangs under all the rest of the noise the band is making. So yeah, I've yapped about this enough. That's my pedal board. All right, and first thing in the signal chain, the guitar. So this is my Sugi DS7. This is a custom guitar I had ordered from a builder named Nick Sugimoto out of Japan. He does a lot of work with Ibanez and Fender, and he did a lot of like really crazy finishes and builds for them over the years, and this is his own brand. Amazing guitar. I absolutely love this thing. It's they got the Bareknuckle pickups Polymath in there, which are the Nolly custom, because we just love Nolly gear in this band apparently. It's got a 5-way switch here for the 2 pickups, so it does have a nice and easy coil split option there, which is nice. I prefer that over like a push-pull knob, just having a little switch there. I did elect for nickel frets. I know most people prefer stainless, but I actually personally prefer the little bit of texture on the nickel frets. Yeah, they'll wear out a little sooner, but just a personal preference thing. It's got Goto tuning machines, the Goto bridge, and this thing has served me well for a long time. It stays in tune like you wouldn't believe. The necks on these guitars that Sugi builds are made out of old growth maple wood that was recovered from like bogs and dried out. So it's actual old growth wood that's hundreds of years old and like hardened and all that. So it's the most stable neck that I've ever had on a guitar. And the thing is just awesome. I absolutely love it. The strings I use are, it's a 9 through 46 set. So just a standard set of 9s for the usual 6 strings, and then a 62 on the bottom for the 7 string. It is a 25.5-inch scale, which some people say doesn't work for 7 strings, and I disagree. It feels great. No floppiness on it. Great tension. So yeah, don't ever let anybody tell you that you can't do a 25.5 scale 7 string. They are awesome, at least for our tuning. Can't go any lower than that really, but won't get into that. But yeah, love this guitar, absolutely. And that is all my stuff that I use for our live shows. Thanks for listening to me talk.